High Spots and Cheap Pops presents your moment in the Valley, ladies and gentlemen. It is me. It's the SSV Silicon Steve Valli coming at you. We are talking WWE once again. Yeah, let me talk to you. And we're going to talk specifically right now about LA Knight. Everybody's talking about. I'm a mark for this fucking guy, clearly. And I just want to appreciate and love the fact that the WWE Universe, as it's called, they have embraced this guy. And I was curious. I knew LA Knight was going to get cheers, but I was curious on the reaction that LA Knight, when he faced Montez Ford for a qualifying match in this upcoming Money in the Bank. And my pick was LA Knight before this thing even started. I said, I have faith in Triple H is going to do what the fans want and give this guy a high-profile situation. He kept him off 3 pay-per-views in a row, including WrestleMania. And the guy is clearly over like he's clearly over like Rover. He is one of the few people that went one-on-one with The Fiend and was actually more over after the fact. You notice everybody else, not so much. So LA Knight actually came out of that feud looking a lot better than The Fiend did, and certainly Captain Howdy, or whatever the hell his name is, taking that big jump off at the Royal Rumble and missing him by 25 feet. So that clearly didn't work out well, but LA Knight shined through. His talent was so good in that poorly done feud. LA Knight was so good, he became a star right there. And the crowd has helped elevate him to a point where he's going to have a rocket pack, hopefully strapped to his back. And last night, he defeats Montez Ford. And what I wanted to see, and I was really interested in, was the reaction the crowd would have. Montez Ford is an extraordinarily popular babyface. He's not a top-tier babyface yet. He will be, or he'll be a top-tier heel. We all know Montez Ford, his future is as bright as the sun. We know that. So I was interested to see what LA Knight would have done against Montez Ford. The crowd was almost 100% for the heel LA Knight. Montez Ford booed when they were exchanging blows, booing every time Montez Ford struck a blow and cheering every time LA Knight did. And it was weird because they booked the match as Ford as the babyface. Now, Ford and LA Knight both did a good job reacting to the crowd, both almost shocked, even though they shouldn't because LA Knight's getting cheered all over them. But I thought they looked shocked at the amount of cheers that LA Knight got over Montez Ford, and I think it's great. And I really hope, and it looks like with LA Knight winning, and he did it in a dastardly way, cheating with the rope, but it looks like LA Knight is going to get an opportunity to win Money in the Bank, and I am hoping to God Triple H does what the fans want and give him that Money in the Bank contract. And also, that's something that he can play around with. He can actually make that mean something. They haven't had a really meaningful Money in the Bank winner in a long time. And I'll tell you what I do. Look, he's obviously super over with the fans. They might think, if you look at Stone Cold and if you look at particularly The Rock, when The Rock was a heel but started getting cheers because he was so good, they turned him babyface. He left the Nation of Domination, and he was a babyface for about 2 or 3 months prior to turning heel and joining the corporation and becoming the corporate champ. He would, of course, face Stone Cold WrestleMania 15. Now, I don't know if they're going to turn him babyface and then have him have a massive heel run, or do they just turn him babyface and shoot him to the moon? I'm not sure. But what I definitely do is I give him Money in the Bank, and I let him, after Seth Rollins has a good run. Seth Rollins has to have a good inaugural championship run, at least a Survivor Series, if not beyond. But after that, you can kind of pick and choose. Now, you don't want this title to be passed around like a dime star hooker. I don't know if that's the right one to use, but you don't want it to be passed around. You want the title to mean something, and particularly after the way it's been booked. A lot of people, including myself, think it's a secondary title. But with that said, LA Knight is a guy, he's not a spring chicken, folks. He can't have the Montez Ford future where you got 2 or 3 years before you're a main eventer. LA Knight's time is now. He was a monster on the indies, NWA, TNA, all 9 is Eli Drake. He comes to WWE, but he's a 20-year veteran here. He doesn't have as big of a window as everybody else. Now, he's still a fresh face, and he still works extraordinarily safe, even though he does some cool things. Now, this match wasn't fantastic with Ford and LA Knight, but it didn't matter. It was about the result. It was about the crowd reaction. LA Knight is in business, and it looks like Triple H is going to give the fans what they want. Get him that Money in the Bank title. I want it. That Money in the Bank contract, it needs to happen, and I give him an historic Money in the Bank cash-in at next year's WrestleMania. Not anything that would overlap what Seth Rollins did, but it would be ironic if Seth Rollins wins at the end of his match at WrestleMania, and then he loses his championship to a Money in the Bank winner at WrestleMania the same way that he won his very first. That would be ironic. That's how I would like to see it happen. And can you imagine the pop if LA Knight continues that nice ascension to popularity and ascension into becoming a big-time name in this company? That would be a WrestleMania moment for the ages. Book it now, Triple H. I know you followed my opinion when I told you to put Daniel Bryan in the main event at WrestleMania 30. You can listen to me here, kid. I know you're getting all your clues from Silicon Steve, and everybody knows. That's a lie. I don't think Triple H knows who I am. In fact, I'm very sure. Mostly because I messaged to WWE about 55 times, and they finally wrote back and said, Paul Triple H Levesque never heard of you. Please stop calling and sending pictures of your feet. I figured he wanted to see my feet. I don't know why. That was a lie too. That whole thing was a lie. I'm not being honest for a second up here, folks. Not for a second. However, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about SmackDown outside of LA Knight. Obviously, the big news is Solo Sikoa, not to many people's surprises, winds up siding with Roman Reigns in a very accentuated way by hitting his own brother with the Samoan spike. Going off air, Paul Heyman said, what about Jay? And Roman said, Jay's going to do what he always does, fall in line. And if you go back and look at the video, folks, I see Jay Uso also turning on his brother. Jimmy's going to go find some allegiance with Sammy and Kevin at the end of that. But Jimmy's going to be completely excommunicated from the bloodline at this point. That's how my opinion is. Look, if you want to really hate Roman and get it to a point where, holy shit, when you break up the Usos and the Usos have to go one-on-one, possibly at SummerSlam, that is what's up. That is what you want to see. And I think we're going to get that drama before Jimmy can get an opportunity for Roman. But that being said, I might think Jimmy is the best Uso, folks. And I've been a big Jimmy fan for a while. Jimmy has been absolutely fantastic on the mic, and he's been fantastic on the mic since he came back. Again, I encourage everyone to go back 2 years ago, May of 2021, when he first returned. And I also encourage everybody to go back and just watch the promos when he was talking to Jay, when Jay seemed confused on if he was going to stay with the Bloodline or go with KO and Sammy. Jimmy said something really powerful. It was like, when you hurt, I hurt. And you really feel that Jimmy cares about everybody and wants everyone to have love and respect. And that's the vision that Jimmy has for the Bloodline. As I said before, Jimmy has never said, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. Not once. And he said he's nobody's bitch, and he proved it. But I think Jimmy is going to be a man without a tribe, not Roman, when this is all said and done. Thank you for watching High Spots and Cheap Pops. Please hit the subscribe button, and please shoot us a message, comment. We'd love to hear from you guys. Be good to each other.